Hello, everyone. I'd like to take this train somewhere deep and personal today, which honestly wasn't something I expected to do on my channel, but the present political climate kind of compelled me to. I've been seeing an increase in videos about the so-called biological clock, and it made me wonder something I never expected to say out loud on my channel. I'm almost 38, and did I waste my life? I didn't end up where I expected to be at this age. It feels like all my dreams got delayed or pushed aside, discarded and forgotten. I had to settle in certain areas in life in order to survive while others got ahead of me. It often felt like my work was never rewarded. Sometimes I regretted it. Other times, when I look at the people around me, their lives don't seem much better than mine. They weren't happier than me. Sometimes they were just as miserable, even though they had all the things I thought I wanted. Seeing that made me question whether I should feel regret at all. The truth is that sometimes I regret things and sometimes I don't. America today is not friendly to the working class or the poor. This is not the kind of life I would want to pass on to someone else, especially with uncertainty regarding AI. And when I look back, purity culture also played a role in the path I took. When I was young, it was shoved down my throat and I listened. They told me not to even consider dating unless I was preparing for marriage. They tried to deny that they were teaching that having sex made you lose your worth, but that's exactly what they were saying, and I listened. What happened to me resembles that song, That Girl, in the movie Grease. She says there are worse things she could do than go with a boy or two, that she could stay home every night and wait around for Mr. Right, take cold showers every day and throw her life away on a dream that won't come true. And that hit home for me because that's essentially what I wound up doing. And it wasn't only purity culture that led me there, it was also fear. The divorce rate was high. The likelihood of a partner cheating was high. The likelihood of actually being happy in a marriage seemed low. The amount of work seemed thankless. The future felt bleak, and I wasn't where I wanted to be in life. So what was the reason to settle down? And another thing I don't talk about a lot is that I was afraid of the gender conflict I keep seeing everywhere. It wasn't just in my own life, it was online. It was in the news, and it was in my friendships, and it got even worse in recent years. That whole gender war made relationships feel dangerous, exhausting, and unpredictable. It made me feel like choosing the wrong partner could ruin my life, and choosing no partner at all felt like the safer option. There was also my mental health. I had severe depression for years, and I never felt ready to commit myself to a relationship because I didn't feel stable enough. It seems strange because I see people with far worse mental health struggles who still get married and have kids, but I wasn't one of those people who made big relationship decisions when I wasn't ready. I didn't want to drag someone else into my chaos. That may or may not cost me in the long run, I don't know. I spent so much time invested in therapy and self-growth trying to become someone healthier, only to reach the point where I'm 38 and wondering whether or not I wasted time. And the hardest part is that even now, after all that work, I still don't always feel ready. I wasn't satisfied in my career either because I wasn't stable. Over the years, I worked a lot of different jobs in food service and sales and nonprofit work and outreach, and I worked in schools with kids. My resume might look scattered from the outside, but every job took effort and every job taught me something. It's not a resume without value. I'm job searching right now, and I applied to a very competitive position. I was selected in the first round, which is extremely difficult for this specific job. So whether or not I get it, that alone proves that my experience isn't worthless. People looked at my background and saw value in it. Otherwise, I would not have gotten through the first round. Even with that accomplishment, the fact remains that I'm still not stable. Maybe what I need is patience. The mindset that I should be further along or that I didn't start early enough only makes me feel stuck. And this idea of the biological clock makes everything feel worse. I keep reminding myself that there are actually benefits to finding love later in life. It doesn't always feel that way because the whole biological clock narrative sits in the back of my mind, and that voice that whispers, "Did I waste my life?" never fully goes away. But social media right now is making it seem like love expires, and actual research and real world patterns tell a very different story. People are settling down later than ever. The average age for marriage is around 30 now. Pew Research shows that millions of adults in their 30s and 40s are single, and that number has been rising for years. A lot of people in those age groups even say they feel more prepared for love now that they did in their 20s. And there are real advantages to that. People tend to be more emotionally mature in their 30s and 40s. They know themselves better. They have stronger boundaries and clearer expectations. They are usually more stable financially and mentally. And relationships that start later often have a better chance of lasting because people are not rushing into something or pretending to be someone they are not. Even with these benefits, my mind still goes back and forth. It is like a constant coin flip. One moment I feel regret because I didn't follow the timeline everyone said I should follow. In the next moment, I look at families who are struggling, and I look at the world becoming more uncertain and bleak, and I don't regret anything. Sometimes I even feel relieved that I didn't rush into something before I was ready. It's like I'm always stuck between two truths. One truth says I missed out, the other truth says maybe I saved myself from a lot of pain. And both can be true at the same time. There is also a part of me that still has ambitions. I've been trying to write a science fiction book ever since COVID. I have no idea if anyone will ever read it. I don't know if it will reach people or if it will quietly disappear. I don't know if it will become my legacy or if it will just be something I created for myself. And that is hard. You put all this labor without knowing if what you plant will ever bear fruit. I go back and forth with my mind all the time. Part of me wants to keep trying because I love writing and believe in the story, and another part of me wonders if I should even try at all because I know the odds. They are not good for authors. It becomes another push and pull. One part of me says, keep going, you might create something meaningful. The other part says, you are wasting your time, and I never really know which part is right. But writing gives me a sense of purpose, even on the days when I doubt myself. It reminds me that I still have something inside of me that wants to create, something that wants to try, and maybe that means something, even if I don't know where it will lead. And when I get caught up in all these worries about time and meaning, I think about a passage from Ecclesiastes where it says, I have seen all the things that are done under the sun, and all of them are smoke, a chasing after the wind. That verse has always hit me because it captures the exact feeling of pouring yourself into life and still wondering if any of it matters. It makes me feel less alone in that question because even in ancient times, people were wrestling with the same doubts about purpose, timing, work, and whether the things we do ever amount to anything. We are our own worst critics, and I think that is why this question might haunt me for the rest of my life. But maybe I'm not supposed to know whether my life has been a waste or not. Maybe that answer belongs to the lives I've touched, and maybe it belongs to God Himself. For now, all I can do is keep moving, keep trying, and keep growing, and maybe if I'm lucky, that will be enough.